According to the National Retail Federation, in 2016, Easter sales were estimated to be $17.3 billion. Believe it or not, in the past couple of years, the sales of Easter candy has even exceeded that of Halloween. How did we get to this point, and how was Easter really created? Well, we'll find out in a moment.
Prosamian Steals intro, bro. Prosamian Steals intro, bro. Prosamian.
So on the Sunday after the first full moon of every spring equinox, we have Easter Sunday, a day when people get together in celebration of the resurrection of Jesus Christ. We have people using Easter baskets, wearing hats with ribbons in their hair, and just loving the springtime, the fresh air, a sign of rebirth, rejuvenation, and a new start. So keeping in mind that Easter celebrations have not been mentioned in the Bible whatsoever, how did we get to this point? Well, I'll tell you. Once again, Emperor Constantine, the same man who started Christmas in AD 325, decided Easter will be a day to celebrate Jesus' resurrection. Now, how did that come to pass? Well, Emperor Constantine had a division of two communities in his empire. One, you have the Christians, the newly formed Christians. This is only 300 years after Jesus' death. And then you have the ancient pagans. Now, to combine the two communities, he basically shifted and created many Christian holidays to fit with the pagan holiday scheme. Christmas was placed over Saturnalia, or their winter festival for the winter equinox. And of course you have Easter placed over the spring equinox. So how did we get the egg? How did we get the Easter bunny? Well, I'll tell you. Both the rabbit and the egg are ancient signs of fertility and sexuality. Keep that in mind, fertility and sexuality. Now, the ancient Babylonians and Egyptians actually used the egg, a decorated egg, to be specific during their New Year celebration, which occurred in the spring. That's right. They used to hand it over to each other in celebration of the new life, new fertilities. Now, the rabbit is another sign of fertility based off of their well-known rapid reproductive quality. For example, man, that couple over there, they engage in sexual intercourse like rabbits. That's where it comes from, the rapid reproductive cycle of the rabbits, fertility, spring, rejuvenation, new life. That Jesus was no spring chicken. Okay, so we have the rabbit and we have the egg, both signifying fertility and sexuality in the old pagan traditions. So let's go deeper with the Easter. Constantine coming up with Easter. Where did the name Easter come from? Considering that's not mentioned in the Bible, there is no Easter festivity in the Bible. Where did the name come from? Well, Ishtar was an ancient Mesopotamian goddess who represented what?
Class, anyone? Anyone seen this before?
Fertility, sexuality and fertility. It was actually claimed in the Bible, by the Bible in the Old Testament, that Ishtar was one of the rivals of God. It was a bad thing to worship. So this evil, quote, evil goddess is actually in the name of the celebration that we have today.
Yo, that's messed up.
I just find that funny. I find that funny. But we all celebrate it, and not we all, but a lot of people celebrate it blindly without having a clue. Okay, so in conclusion, Emperor Constantine, let's say some politician just decided to get everybody together and say, okay, we will celebrate this holiday on the first Sunday after the first full moon of spring. We shall now call this Easter, and we shall celebrate it lovingly and accordingly. Now let's place that into modern times. And I want to see if we put that statement into this time, right in the modern times, would you celebrate it then? So for example, in the US, if you're some citizen sitting around, our brand new president, Mr. Donald Trump, comes out and says, on this Wednesday of every spring, we shall now call this Tom Cruise Day in celebration of Scientology. How many of you would just blindly follow it without knowing the history of what he's saying? Without knowing why? Because that's basically what we're doing. Keep that in mind. If you're going to celebrate, if you're going to engage in a ritual, if you're going to celebrate any kind of holiday or something, keep that in mind, get your facts straight. All right, ladies and gents, I believe I've said my piece. That's enough for Prosamian Steals. I'm going to go back to being positive. Just know what you're doing. And I will catch you guys on the flip side. So, peace. Whoa! If you guys enjoyed Prosamian Steals Easter, please feel free to check out Prosamian Steals Valentine's Day or Prosamian Steals Christmas. Thanks again for watching.